Hello everyone and welcome to a rather subdued podcast in a car park somewhere in the arsehole of Warrington at a McDonald's that for some reason isn't fucking open, and there's four very hungry, very sad individuals in the car. Joining me after that 2-2 fucking fuck you fest that we just watched is Jonathan, Phil, and Ben's half asleep in the back, so we'll just introduce him to be fair. Jonathan, you were in the cop. It started off great. Songs were singing. People were waving flags. It was all good. What happened?
Well, the biggest problem is I've no McChicken sandwich right now here, and I'm bloody starving. I was promised one.
Phil's a McCunt.
He is indeed.
I am pissed off.
That was the only thing that was going to make this night any better. Going back to the game, it was just some Liverpool up in a nutshell, didn't it? Absolutely explosive going forward, and just an absolute wank fest at the back. We just can't defend. It's too easy to score against us. It's you just attack once and you get a goal. They scored early.
4 minutes, Jonathan. Four fucking minutes.
And how easy was that first goal?
It was just like just flow like a ball just dribbles across the face of the box, and it's just like, who's going to put this in the net?
Fucking queue at the back post nearly to put it in.
Yeah, it was a bigger queue there than there was going into McDonald's now.
Did anybody else think that a couple of things there? Obviously, we should have cut out the ball across, but did anybody think that the keeper could have came and tried to claim that?
Definitely, he's a chicken shit. He's more worried about fucking up his hair than he is about stopping a goal. So, I am not a massive fan of Karius at all. I think when he first came to Liverpool, everyone had a lot of hopes for him, including me. And I just don't think he's anywhere lived up to him. I was really surprised actually the other day to find out that he is the exact same age down to the day as Danny Ward. That really surprised me. I thought there was a much bigger age gap between the two of them. I always kind of saw Danny Ward as a young, talented, up-and-coming keeper that wasn't quite there yet, and that Karius had a few more years on him. The fact that Karius hasn't progressed in that time, and they are the same age, for me, would question why he is... It certainly appears to be above Danny Ward in the pecking order. I'd be pretty pissed off if I'm Danny Ward. I had a good season at Huddersfield last season. I had the opportunity to play for a Premier League side, albeit one probably scrapping in a relegation battle, and instead I'm sat on the bench watching Karius do fuck all, and then occasionally Mignolet come in and do fuck all.
To be fair though, there was a couple of errors that led up to that, and it should have, before that ball even got crossed, it should have been cut out. So it's not as much as
it's not
I think
entirely
Karius could have done better. It certainly isn't Karius' fault.
Defending really was the big problem there.
Our defence was shocking. I said to the guys off air that any game that Moreno is your best defender, you've probably had some problems.
We went 1-0 down early, as we said, but we fought back well.
We did, yeah.
We came back well.
A good response.
But that's just, Jonathan said, that's typical Liverpool. Our attack is fantastic and our defence is shocking. You know, I was saying again off air that the fact that, look, let's not beat around the bush. It is difficult to create and score loads of goals in every competition in top level football, because we are playing against players who are paid millions of pounds to be able to stop that from happening. It's not that easy to score. But it almost appears like we need to score 3 or 4 goals every single game just to be able to win a game, because our defence is inevitably going to leak a couple of goals.
Yeah, that's true. For the equalising goal for us, myself and Phil, not had an obstructive view, but we could see Moreno going in down the left, and then we just seen the ball across the box. So, Jonathan, did you get a good view of Firmino knocking it home?
Yeah, it was kind of a weird type of move because Hendo got the ball, and it was a decent move up to pass it to him, and he probably should have shot. And the whole crowd just groaned at him again. Oh, what are you doing? And then he plays a lovely ball in behind. Then he's almost like, oh Jesus, I better do something good here to make up for this. And he plays a lovely ball behind. Then Moreno comes on very well, and it just an easy finish. Then the second goal was a bit poxy, really. To be fair, it took a
massive deflection.
I love a deflection, lads. I love a deflection.
Serious bit of loop the loop on that one. And
to be fair though, calling a spade. Henderson was shit tonight.
He was brutal.
Henderson was absolutely
not according to
shocking.
Sky, Phil.
Yeah,
according to Sky, he was a better player than Wijnaldum on the pitch.
God knows what the game they watched, because for me, Ginny was probably our man of the match. He was
Jonathan
fantastic.
said it right there, Phil. They weren't allowed to watch it.
No, they're not allowed to watch it on BT.
Yeah. But,
so they've watched like a Football Manager or something and just made it up as they've gone along. But no, I mean, they were... Henderson was... So our midfield three, this was the problem tonight. Our midfield three consisted of Gini Wijnaldum, who was doing a fantastic job, but was basically carrying them himself. Henderson, who was a cardboard cutout of Steven Gerrard, would have been more fucking useful than Henderson tonight. Emre Can was very mixed. I think he did some pretty good stuff, but he also did some
he was some shite stuff as well.
Shocking stuff. So he was very, very... You'd have to call him mediocre at best. So you had the good, the bad, and the ugly really in midfield tonight, and that's really what causes the problem. Because yes, okay, we have a fantastic front three, but they need the delivery. You know, why, given that he played well for Brazil and then didn't play against Manchester City, why the fuck Phil Coutinho wasn't in the centre of that midfield dinking balls to that front three, I will never know.
Yeah, but you look at Coutinho, he come on, I know he's only on for a short period of time, but he was completely and totally off the pace of the game. He'd give the ball away, and he used to give the ball away 5 or 6 times. His touch was slack, he was sluggish.
He went looking for the ball though.
Well, I wonder whether that was a nerve thing, given what happened, and I mean, obviously that's been well documented.
Yeah,
all
but
the
once, twice, like
I was just the thing that got me about Phil Coutinho tonight was even before he stepped foot on the pitch, and I'm not going to make a thing about this, but he was warming up in front of where me and Craig were sat. We were literally within a couple of metres away from him. Every single Liverpool player applauded the crowd as they came to warm up. Phil Coutinho refused to make eye contact. He would not look at the crowd.
And another little thing as well, every other player would do their sprints completely all the way down to the edge of the cop.
He wouldn't come
He'd
to
only go halfway and turn around again. So
He went nowhere near the cop.
Nerves were
to be fair, he is human, and there probably would have been nerves for anybody coming on there, unless you didn't give a fuck. Like, unless you really didn't give a fuck. If you were a Diego Costa type, I'm here, deal with it. Like, but look, 2-1 up.
Maybe it was difficult though. He might have had emotional back pain.
That's it. 2-1 up. Things were going well. We were on the up and up, piling the pressure on.
Yeah.
So the penalty incident was funny because, first of all, we all screamed for a handball.
Which
that didn't come. Then Mane threw himself to the ground twice. And it was a very sharp movement. And the ref had no choice. He couldn't. He didn't give us one earlier on. He had to give that one. So, penalty, and Firmino stepped up, Phil. I said to you, I'm not confident. But I'm a pessimistic cunt, so to be fair. But what's unforgivable for me is you have to hit the target.
Yeah.
If the keeper saves it and you hit the target, look, you hit the target, but
it was a poor penalty. I want to see it again, but it was
on
a
the
poor
walk
penalty.
back through Stanley Park that he almost started that penalty out at the corner flag.
Yeah, I was from where I was stood in the cop. I was pretty much behind him, so I could see the ball. Beside Ben here, I was like, "Oh shit, that's gone very wide," and it did have a huge amount of bend on it to come back and hit the post. But
it's weird though.
It was weird. You can't.
You never blame anybody for missing a penalty. It's one of them things.
Because I thought he had a very good.
It did knock us though. I mean, you can't blame him, but it definitely knocked us.
Oh, absolutely, because that penalty goes in, and that's a total different ball game. And
it's game over. Absolutely game over. Then they have to really push on, and where Mane and Salah have a field day at that point.
Klopp's substitutions again leave a lot to be desired. The timing of them, I think. Well, we certainly were looking at Klopp from half-time onwards, wondering where the hell Phil Coutinho was. I think everybody kind of looked at it as if to say, well, you're giving Phil less than half an hour. You gave Sturridge 8 minutes, and you gave Oxlade-Chamberlain about
give him injury time, basically, did he?
You gave that. Not a lot of time for them to come and save the game. Bearing in mind, at one point we were going for the juggler, and we could have actually put that game to bed. Okay, the penalty knocked us, but his substitutions always seem to happen too late for me. It's almost like the rest of the crowd has already figured out what's needed 10 to 15 minutes before he actually makes the change.
Talking about the subs, there was one thing in particular that myself and yourself spoke about in the stands at the time, Phil, and that was bringing Mane off.
Yeah. What are you resting him for? Fucking 3-match ban? Why did you take him off? It doesn't make any sense. He's one of the... Yes, okay, he had some strange moments tonight, but he's still a fantastic football player. He's fast, he causes problems, and that defence wasn't up to much. Their defence was not up to much, neither was their goalkeeper. So taking him off, it was just bizarre. I just don't understand. Unless there's something going on there that we don't know, and he said, listen, I'm feeling a bit of a niggle, or I'm feeling tight, or whatever. But if that was a tactical substitution, then quite frankly, it was wrong.
Agreed. Jonathan, what was your take on the subs?
Yeah, see, I'm caught in two minds here because for large periods of that second half, we were in total control, and I think we almost got to a stage where we were almost too comfortable. We were happy just to pass the ball back and forth without really getting that all-important third goal. I thought we controlled the game, so there wasn't really... I remember even saying to Ben at one stage, it was like, I don't think we bring Phil on here at this stage to play in midfield just because you'd prefer a bit more defensive cover that Chan and Hendo would give you.
What's defensive cover? What's that?
But at least like
what's defense?
Yeah, at least you know what you're going to get with Coutinho, and it's whoever the other two guys are in the defensive.
I still don't understand why you took off Emma Chan for Coutinho, because as we just said, Emma Chan had a mixed bag tonight. He had some good stuff and some really shocking stuff, but Henderson was 98% shite. Why would you take Hendo off?
He's keeping Hendo on because he thinks he's going to be the base that midfield starting all the attacks, and he has.
But he's a dick.
Yeah, he had a very poor game.
He had a poor game. Look, Hendo seems to be one of them players who's either on it or he isn't. There doesn't seem to be much middle ground with him.
To be fair, you can say the same about Ginny as well. I said to you, didn't I, sort of halfway through the first half, I said, when Adam's on this today, he's having one of those games where he's turned up.
No matter what we really say here today, lads, what let us down yet again is the defence. We can pick holes in the midfield players and say they had a mixed bag, but the centre backs, I'm going to moan about the centre backs in particular here, because Moreno, as you said, was probably the best of our four defenders. Yeah. Gomez did okay. He was turned a bit too easily at times, but they doubled up on him.
Congratulations on your first red card, Joe. Well done.
That's 2 and 2.
Look, if you're going to get a red card, get it in the 89th minute. And get it when you're probably not going to play the next game anyway. That's all good. If one person was to get a red card there tonight that wasn't Karius, then happy days, Joe Gomez. We can replace him going forward. We're dirty bastards now, lads. That's it. We're red card Liverpool.
That cynical edge is back in our game, is it?
But let's get back to the centre backs here, lads. We all know Lovren's capable of a few brain farts and a few fuck ups, but Matip, what was going through his head at times today?
I don't know. There was a couple of occasions where the ball... I remember one occasion in particular in the second half where the ball is looping in the air. He's got all the time in the world to take it down and do something with it and clear it or pass it or do something. And instead he just heads the volley. He heads the ball straight back to the opposition. I have absolutely no idea where he did that. And thankfully, in fact, it may or may not have been one of the things that led to that move where they almost scored at the end. When they put the ball just wide. I think if it wasn't that play, it was certainly in the build-up to that play.
Did him and Karius have some type of bet on of how many times they could pass it back and forward to each other? Do you know what got me? So when Matip was receiving the ball from Karius or from anybody, he never looked over his shoulder to see if he had time.
No.
He instinctively, and Henderson's guilty of it at times as well, instinctively plays the ball back to the keeper with his back to play because he's worried about the ball being pinched off him. Whereas when you move further up the pitch, you see, for instance, Salah. He's a fucking master at turning people when he receives the ball. He's brilliant. Firmino's brilliant at it as well. But they would have had so many times. Now, credit where it's due, he did stride into spaces at time and he did make a couple of decent breaks. One of them, he ran fucking most of the length of the pitch, but he just wouldn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, the one... oh God. Matip took the ball from outside his own box, legged it the full length of the pitch, and then continued to try and run like he was trying to run it into the goal, and then lost it.
There's not really much we can keep going around in circles here and banging our head off a wall. We're depressed enough as it is, but if there are any positives we can take from the game today going forward, obviously we didn't lose, so
it feels like a loss, though, doesn't it?
It feels a little like it, but no, we had a decent performance there, attacking wise. Front three, got another game together. You have to look at getting Coutinho back on the pitch as well. It has to be a positive as well.
Our defence and mixed shit.
Yeah, there's no positives whatsoever you can take out of that defence.
I think that's going to be the thing. That's going to be our undoing. I really do, because we're going to have to score 3 goals, maybe even 4 goals a game to stand the chance of winning with that defence. And if teams don't score against us, or don't score more than 1 against us, it's going to be purely because they fucked up rather than our defence did a decent job.
It is very, very worrying, I'm not going to lie. And Robertson doesn't seem to be in favour at all.
No, I mean, he doesn't seem to be getting a look in, does he?
It's just too easy to score against us. It really is.
I mean, that first goal summed it up. That first goal was ridiculous. It was we might as well not been there.
It was. I said to you at the time, it was schoolboy stuff. It really was.
We might as well just not play a defence.
Sevilla probably couldn't believe how easy that goal came about.
Absolutely.
But like Sevilla aren't up to much.
Nope.
And I can see us going out there and beating them. It's not the end of the world. It's a disappointment, but look, I wasn't optimistic, so we'll move on. We know what we need to improve. It's glaringly obvious.
Rolls more pressure onto Burnley though.
It probably does, but look, there'll be a couple of changes again at the weekend, no doubt.
I wouldn't say Mane will play.
No, probably not. So you're looking at does he go with Sturridge and change the system a bit, or does he pop Coutinho in, or does he pop Chamberlain in?
I think Chamberlain's definitely getting a game. I think Phil will get a game. I still doubt whether Sturridge can actually do a full game. We'll see. I think you run the risk of him getting injured again. I think if I was his manager, I would continue to use him for the last 30 to 20 minutes of games.
He's never going to get match fit then, is he?
But he doesn't need to be match fit, because if he plays more than 1 or 2 games a season, he gets injured and he's out for 6 months.
Well, then that's just a big problem then, isn't it?
So just let him play for 5 minutes, score a goal, limp off.
Let's be positive, lads. Come on, let's be positive.
He's made a dried spaghetti.
Give us your best and worst, Phil. So for the day, give us your best player and your worst player.
Players. Gini Wijnaldum was my best player. I think he was fantastic tonight. You could have given it to Mo, you could have given it to a couple of people, but I think Gini was fantastic. A shining light in that shitty midfield. And worst. It's an easy one to go for, but Lovren. I think Lovren was my worst player today. Lovren was fucking dire. Again, could have just have easily given that award to Henderson. But
he spends too much time fucking about with that captain's armband and pulling it up on his arm as well. That really annoys me.
Strangle him with it.
He either doesn't have big enough fucking muscles on his arm, or he needs to get a smaller captain's armband.
Yeah, no, I'm going for Lovren. I think Lovren was a special breed of shite tonight.
Jonathan?
Best, probably Salah. He seems to be just getting quicker and quicker. He looked to take his man on at every opportunity. Some beautiful flowing moves at times that we were unlucky not to finish. I thought a couple of them. So Salah for me is the best player. Worst, yeah, it's hard to look past Lovren. He was utter wank there today. Positioning, reading the game,
football, breathing, moving,
heading, distribution, defending. You know,
basically everything we pay him to do.
I would challenge anybody to try and look at the game and try and find a positive thing Lovren did in that game.
So you're on the fence then? You're not sure?
I'm not sure for worst player.
Yeah, you're on the fence there. You're not sure about Lovren.
I'd quite like to smack Lovren with a fence.
Yeah, no, it's a tough one, isn't it? But I think I'll edge towards Lovren.
I can't disagree. It has to be Lovren for the poorest player of the match. As the lad said, man of the match, a few contenders. Salah was great. Gini was great. Firmino, for me, I think worked very, very hard. Lots and lots of running. I'm going to go Firmino because I want to give him a boost after missing the penalty as well. So I'll give it to Bobby. But look, we're split here. We've got one each. So we've got Gini, Salah and Bobby. So it's all good. Look, lads, we move forward to the weekend. Hopefully you guys will be back. Phil, Jonathan and the guys will be here tomorrow with ARW Weekly. Huge thanks as always to our sponsors, armourtalent.co.uk and painsolutionslim.co.uk. Or sorry, armourtalent.com, apologies, and painsolutionslim.co.uk. We're sorry we didn't get the result, folks. We hope you all enjoyed the game anyway. Sorry it's a short pod, but we're in a car park here in the arsehole of Warrington and we just want to get back, get something to eat and catch an early flight home. But look, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you all soon. Take care, good luck, bye bye.
Up the Reds.
Up the Reds.